Yes. All religions and walks of life are welcome. It's a big and story of religion. It's just one of them. I am my man Stovall,
And I'm Jasir.
but you somebody else.
I'm also known as Lady Khadija Quill, spoken word
For real?
poet. You're funny.
Alright, so we're gonna do like we did with last week or the week before last. It's during Ramadan, so a lot of things that we normally would do, we're not doing. But we're gonna take our time today and go into two poems by Khadija Quill, and we're not gonna flirt. We're just gonna talk about the poem. It's Ramadan.
Funny.
But we'll talk about the poems. It's two poems picked out. Beautiful poems, and we'll start whenever you're ready.
Okay. The first one, I used to cook for men I should have poisoned.
I make this. Go ahead.
You're a joke. I used to cook for men I should have poisoned. Let that sit. Let it simmer. Let it soak into the marrow of your bones. Because some of you know exactly what I mean. You've stood in kitchens that felt more like cages. You've stirred pots full of love, hoping it would thicken enough to hold a man's loyalty. You've plated meals, hoping they'd swallow your worth with every bite, but they never did. Because some men will chew you up and still leave the table hungry. Some men will drink from your cup and still die of thirst. Some men will break you into pieces and wonder why you're not holy enough to hold them anymore. I used to cook for men I should have poisoned. And no, I don't mean poison in the way they poisoned me, with words that slithered like venom, with hands that held too tight, with love that felt more like a slow death. But maybe, just maybe, I should have let the venom drip into the pot. Let it simmer in the sauce. Let them taste the bitterness, the pain, the heartache, the insecurity. Taste the way my body shook when they walked in the room. Taste the nights I spent praying for peace that never came. Taste the shame of loving a man who only ever loved the way I served him. I should have let them taste my ish. But instead, I swallowed it myself. I held it in my mouth like something too sour to spit out, too familiar to let go. And you? Some of you are still holding it too. Still stirring your suffering into stews. Still basting your bruises with hope. Still setting a table for a man who only knows how to take. Let me ask you, how long will you feed a man who is starving you? How long will you cook a love that keeps burning you? Because hear me now, I used to cook for men I should have poisoned. But now I cook for myself. I nourish the body I once neglected. I feed the soul I once starved. I sit at a table where love is gentle, where hands do not hurt, where laughter does not come at my expense, and I eat. I eat without flinching. I eat without fear. I eat and I live. And that man who once sat at my table, that man who once feasted on my softness, that man who once mistook my silence for seasoning, he ate one last meal before I left. I used to cook for men I should have.
Damn. Okay. Solid. You want to go first or want me to go first?
You can go first.
So I'm going to tell you from two sides, right? I got one side because I have 12 sisters, right? Plus I've been married a couple times, right? So on the man side of things, men have many insecurities, many frustrations. Sometimes they feel as though they're not good enough. Sometimes they fearful of you leaving. Sometimes they listen to their friends on how they supposed to be with their wives because they haven't been married before or in relationships. Sometimes they get things from the internet. Sometimes they just really don't know that you just should nurture a woman. And then on top of that, just from a man, insecurities depending on who your ex was, or how much money he had, how built he was, how attractive he was. They may be more mean, or dimming your light because of them feeling insignificant in ways. I'm coming from experience, not from hatred or hardship. I'm coming from understanding, because sometimes a man will do things that will hurt and rip a woman apart, and he will feel sorry for it. But in his defense, all he would do is argue it down and take from you and manipulate the situation and try to turn it around and try to make him feel like he's the victim. Although men go through a lot of things, just like women don't understand that men hurt. Men are depressed and go through depression and different turmoils, how they was raised by their parents or who they was raised by, or going in and out of correctional facilities, or even travel through the land and being disrespected by other men or making them feel small or anything. At the same time, as me, as a man, the man that I am today, is no better feeling in the world than having a woman that you love and care for and allowing her to shine in her own light. Some people could say it's easy to do that. It may be easy for that man, or to deal with the hurt he's going through. He may feel insignificant compared to whomever he was with prior to him, or prior to the woman he was with in that relationship. So a lot of that pain comes out into the woman, right? But on a woman's side of things, y'all feel pain in a different way. Y'all hurt in a different way. Y'all hurt in a way that we could never hurt. It would drive us crazy to the point of suicide or murder. A man could, what men put y'all through, we would literally leave the house and it could end in a murder, just like that. Walk into the store, a guy said the wrong thing. He don't have nothing to do with it, and here it is, just killed him off of the way she made you feel. So I'm not defending men who may have treated any woman wrong, but I'm also not just jumping into the conversation of all men is bad or how they treated women is good. Sometimes both parties got to sit back and say, damn, we really need to have a real conversation. And ain't never had a brother like me. You ain't be putting your hands on my sister. You ain't talking down to her. You ain't telling her to put in a corner. I will put you in a dark hole and won't care about nothing, even during Ramadan. But everybody don't need a brother like me. Sometimes they need another brother. But I would like to hear your side.
My side, a lot of people ask me why I wrote the poem itself. It is because of my experiences. And I understand, like, all men are not the same, and it's absolutely true. Like, I've never, had that thought of thinking that all men are the same. I know that there are good men or bad men. One of the reasons why I wrote the poem is because of the experiences that I've gone through in previous relationships. But also, and I know a lot of women deal with this, is because we only see certain things when we grow up. relationships.
Right.
If we see somebody getting beat, that's normal. If we see somebody, stabbing somebody, that's normal.
Right.
If we see somebody screaming and hollering and, trying to get their point across, but not really doing it because of all that screaming that you're doing, and you're not really saying anything, just going off your anger emotions. If that's all you know in a relationship, then that's what you bring to the relationship. Like, I always love that what do you bring to the table? Your toxicity. You bring your experiences, unless you get the help that you need. And a lot of people, especially women, it's hard for us to say, we need help. We know about mental issues, we know about mental health, but because a lot of us went through a lot of things, it's hard for us to talk about it. The things that I went through, I did get help and seek help. And this was just a therapy for me in regards to letting all of that out, letting all of the bitterness and the rage and the hate and me staying far longer than I should have stayed, and me, dealing with that stuff when I could have had something better a long time ago. But, everything's decreed for a reason.
Right.
And I'm thankful that Allah has brought me into a place where, I understand things more, and I understand this religion, and I understand Allah's decree.
Right.
So in that sense, yes, this is a piece that, it's sort of my trauma,
Right.
and it's sort of my experience, but also it's a therapy, it's a healing, it's letting everything out and understanding that healthy relationships do exist, and understanding how to cross that path of being in a healthy relationship. So, and no, I haven't poisoned anybody for real. But yeah, it's just a form of therapy for me.
Have you?
No.
Do you think you haven't? So let me explain, right? Because it's a different metaphors in the poem, right?
Yes.
So you talk about how men poisoned you. Do you feel as though you've leaked any venom into other men? I mean, a woman's mouth is ridiculous, and I've heard some of the worst things a woman could say to a man.
Yeah.
So, do you feel as though your claws or your venom poisoned a man?
I will say
Knowingly
this.
or unknowingly?
I don't think I've knowingly poisoned anybody. The way that I speak and talk, and the way that I communicate things, I don't scream and holler. It's hard for me to do that.
Never?
No, I don't scream.
No? Like you never scream?
Oh wait, one time I did. One time I did, but that was because it was on behalf of a little child, and that made me upset that this individual would take out people and other children instead of their own children. And some men do that.
Really
They
do?
sit there and they forget about their own kids.
I know a bunch of guys who do that.
Yeah, how are you going to be a daddy to somebody else's children and you're not a daddy to your own children?
That's crazy.
Like, that's crazy. So, yes, I did scream at that individual.
That's cool. I've been daddies to many children who's not mine. So, love grant me dinner for that.
I
and me.
mean.
But at the same time, like, sometimes I just think people really just need to have real conversations and be able to control their anger and they pride on both sides, and have more harmony in their heart as far as their religion go. If you see religion, like I'm Muslim, right? But religion keeps people with structure and gives people some type of hope, right?
It does.
And it should gives you some type of peace and understanding. And if you have a religion in your life, regardless on what religion it is, and you really believe in that religion and you practice it, there's no reason in the world you can't control your anger.
Yeah.
As a man. And it took me many, many, many years to do it. Right? So I was like, I had a conversation with somebody in the past, and it was like, oh, we should get married. I'm like, yeah, I would, but I'm married, so, like, yeah, but it never stopped you before. I didn't know as much before as I know now. I didn't understand the way I understand now. I didn't look at things then the way I look at things now. You can't judge me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and expect me to be the same person I am now. So, if this is what you're looking for, you're looking at the wrong person. I'm not him no more. So, to have a conversation, then I may not have been able to control my anger or my frustrations or my insignificant thoughts of myself. I may not have been able to control them, but now I'm able to talk about those things and get it off my chest and actually listen to a woman and have a conversation back and forth to the point where I have an understanding and she may have an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Where before I couldn't do that. Before I would just be nice. I would buy gifts and things like that, but I didn't know how to show complete kindness to a person so they could feel at peace or at ease even when I'm angry. So it's a lot of things that people do when they're younger, not in any man's defense or any woman's defense, but in life you should want to grow. You should self-reflect. And if you can do those things, I believe you could grow to be a better person. So, am I the same person 10 years ago I was now? No. But I do believe I'm a better person. I believe that I've showed kindness before, but I'm more kind now in a relationship. For sure.
I mean, one of the best things that I love about the Quran is it gives us guidance in a lot of ways. And one of my verses is in Surah Al-Ra'd, and it's Allah does not change the condition of the people unless they change themselves.
Yeah.
And one of the things that mean is you have to rectify yourself before you start pointing fingers at anybody else. And once you rectify yourself, Allah will rectify your affairs. So, Alhamdulillah for Islam.
Alhamdulillah for Islam. Alhamdulillah for religion. Alhamdulillah for Islam. You want to move to the next poem?
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. That's crazy.
You're as exhausted as I am. So the next poem is also one that I wrote. This one is called Peekaboo. It's fairly recent. I haven't released it yet, but I will. All right.
Before you go in, right? What was your inspiration from the last poem and past relationships?
It was more past relationships and the things that I thought were healthy in those relationships, and thinking about my insecurity while I was in those relationships. So yeah, it's mostly past relationships.
Okay. Peekaboo, what's this? Before we dive into it.
I can't find anything playing right now.
Ain't news in? So Peekaboo is what's that about?
So Peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
I was looking at a video and it inspired me because this video was talking about why men cheat. So I thought about some of the reasons why a woman cheat. And I don't think I have everything in this poem, because some women just cheat and I don't know why. But
just like some guys just cheat, they don't
know
even know why.
Right. But there are some things that I feel that women will do in that situation because of certain things that they're missing, or they may feel lonesome. So it was just that inspiration.
Okay.
So Peekaboo. Act 1, The Vanishing. Peekaboo. She sees you. Do you see her? Not the her that folds your shirts just the way you like. Not the her that asks if you've eaten while she runs on empty. Not the her that swallows disappointment like a tasteless meal. No. I'm talking about the her behind the closed door. The her that wipes fog from the mirror only to find a stranger staring back. The her who once carried laughter in her lungs, but now breathes in sighs and exhales silence. She asks you how your day was, and you grunt. She reaches for your hand, and you flinch. She laughs at your jokes, but you don't even look up. She used to be color, vivid, electric, undeniable. Now she is a faded photograph of the girl you pursued. Tell me, when was the last time you looked at her like she was magic? Like she was something sacred? Like she was the best mistake God ever let you make? Peekaboo. She's looking, searching, watching, not for a man. She has one of those. A presence, but not a partner. A provider, but not a protector. A lover, but not in a way that makes her feel loved. It starts small. A notification, a message, a hey. Nothing serious, nothing major. Just a reminder she exists outside your blind spot. Then it grows. A text that lingers past midnight. A voice that makes her feel seen. A warmth that makes her wonder why she's been shivering for so long. Peekaboo. She's no longer looking for you. She's looking at him. The one who says, you smell like cinnamon. And suddenly she remembers she is sugar and spice, not just a dish you consume without tasting. The one who says, you're brilliant. And suddenly she remembers she's more than duty, more than your expectations wrapped up in a pretty dress. The one who whispers, I see you. And she remembers that is what it's like to be visible. And suddenly, what was once a fleeting thought, a whispered conversation, a secret smile, a call at midnight, a meeting at noon, bodies intertwined, a mistake wrapped in passion. But was it a mistake, or was it a rescue mission? Because here's the unfiltered, blood raw truth. Women don't cheat because they're weak. They cheat because they're hungry. Hungry for words that taste like admiration, for touches that feel like worship, for love that doesn't sit on an autopilot. And you left her starving. So she went where the feast was. Peekaboo. Now you see her too, but only her back as she's walking away. As you see another hand, strong, sure, reaching for the crescent of her back. Peekaboo.
You've been through a lot, Shorty. Been through some stuff. Inshallah. Go ahead, you go first.
Like I said, this one was more along the lines of me seeing a video. And just the word peekaboo came in my head. And I literally went off of that one word and everything just coalesced into this poem. But it was more along the lines of, you know, if someone doesn't have that admiration from the person that she loves anymore, or that person that doesn't have those feelings for her and she feels that, and the only thing she feels like is she's just a piece of walking mat that's just living in this space without anything there. So women starve for attention sometimes. Women want to have that back and forth with their significant other, their spouse, someone to let them know that, right, they're there. If they don't have that, then some women will look at other places. Some women will try to seek that attention and admiration. Some people will want someone to say, hey, I see you. And the person that she wanted to see her just never saw her.
Or his vision faded throughout time. See, I picked these two poems for a reason. The reason is, one is the month of Ramadan, right? So we look for forgiveness from our Lord. We also reflect on the things we've done wrong in our life. To me, these two poems, you could put a mirror on each side and reflect each other in different ways, right? Where a lot of times men look at women directly, and there's so many dimensions to them. There's so many cuts, like a diamond.
Right.
Like a diamond, you get out the ground, it's raw, it's not shiny, it's dull, it has no cuts, it has no size, it has no particular color. You hold it up to the sun, it's dull like a dirty cup. But then through life, women become more than just this rock that was in the ground. They get cuts, they get shaved, they get dipped, they get polished, they get shine, they get dropped, they get broken. A diamond has to go through all these things to make it the diamond, that beautiful diamond that you see in the store. So, sometimes we look at life as all these hurts and turmoils. But people see you now, me at 47 years old, they see you now and like, damn, you're a diamond. Look what I've been through. Look all the stabbings and shootings and taking up for my sisters. And not to get off topic of the poem, because it was a brilliant, amazing, and beautiful poem, both. And they mirror each other in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But, just like you said earlier, why men cheat, it's a billion reasons why men cheat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a billion reasons why women cheat, right? So, the focus is when you get in these relationships, and once you realize you're in these relationships, you have to work to keep the relationship. You can't just be in a relationship and think it's just going to flow with itself. It takes work on both sides.
Absolutely.
Do you want to be in this relationship or not? So if you're in this relationship to tear me apart, what happens when you tear me apart so much? It's no longer me that you see. I become something else. I'm either this damn dirty rock again, or when I'm walking away, I'm this shiny diamond that somebody else is caressing their back as they're walking away. So when people, it goes both ways. I believe it goes both ways for men and women. So when you're thinking about, did he lose sight? Sometimes he didn't lose sight. Sometimes he's just working so hard, he's exhausted. And when you cooking for him and he doesn't look up, he's exhausted. Sometimes niggas is just niggas. They are who they are. They're not going to be nothing more than that on both sides, women and men. So when we making decisions on who we going to be with, sometimes we make the wrong decision. Sometimes the wrong decision could be the right decision, because sometimes you have to go through this BS to appreciate the nice guy. So how many times they say nice guys finish last? They don't finish last when the woman or the man goes through a bunch of BS and then they get a nice guy or a nice girl, because now it feels peaceful. They're at peace. They don't want to go, they seen it, they dealt with it, they went through all the cuts and bruises and frustrations and irritations of life, and now this peaceful person come, and you like, he leaves his underwear on the floor, but I could deal with that. She burns a little couple things in food, but I could deal with that. She gets on my nerves sometimes, but I could deal with that. Because you dealt with so many other crazy things. I was married to a woman, she get mad, she just slams everything and knocks stuff on the floor and throws a temper tantrum. 47, we like the same age.
It's crazy.
She had kids and all. I had another wife. Get mad will tear you apart verbally, limb from limb from limb. And then feel bad after and start crying. But she will tear you apart.
It's crazy.
But I've also been in relationships where I've given everything I could. Everything. To the point where it was like, I had nothing left to give. And it's really time to go. So, sometimes you have to go through these things, these trials and tribulations that God put you in.
Yeah.
So when you get your diamond, you could leave it as a rock, or you could polish it up and take it home.
That's true.
That's how I look at it.
I mean, the same thing can be said about,
Both ends.
the man being through something, the woman can be through something new.
Right.
And sometimes,
Right.
even to the point where the man can go through something and still have something good and be like, maybe I'm not ready for that good, or
Right.
maybe I'm not good enough for that good.
Right. Because
But-
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've been in talked to women and my finances just wasn't there. And I thought her finances were so high, just come to find out. Her finances is bad, my finances is bad. We came together, it would have been decent. But, you know, it's just sometimes you look inside the cup and you think it's lemonade, and sometimes it's just dirty water. Sometimes you think it's dirty water and it's lemonade. So, you gotta be in it to see what it is. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Peekaboo.
I'm using my line.
Oh no, I think a lot of them lines, you know. I'm just saying. I ain't taking no credit. I'm just saying. Like anybody who knows me knows I got spoken word game for
You
sure.
got some lyrics
For sure.
around you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you know, I ain't got the hunger and love for it no more. So I'll spit shine something. Just, you know, a little dull. That's all. I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't taking nobody's credit and nobody's shine. Shine bright like a diamond.
That's crazy.
Anything else? What time is it?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I would say just, you know, even with these 2 poems, like you can definitely get some benefits from it.
yeah, cause you decide, can reflect.
Yeah, do better, be better.
Yeah,
Like sometimes it's not the other person, sometimes it's you.
yeah, for sure.
And sometimes you don't want to look at that, but sometimes you do have to.
That was crazy. I just did that, but go ahead.
So in that sense, I'll leave it there.
All right, and see y'all hopefully next week.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, it's been a beautiful